So apparently wedding rejections aren't something that just happens on TV and movies. It happens in real life too. And BuzzFeed has a list of some of the craziest wedding objections. Check these out. A girl entered the back of the church and said loudly, "Please don't do this, Dan, please." Absolute silence in a church of 300 people.
Holy cow.
The priest counseled the couple for the longest 5 minutes. The wedding proceeded and the bride got crap-faced at the wedding reception. That marriage lasted about 2 years. Maybe the person who objected was onto something, they went on to say.
What happens after? Do like everybody turn around and be like, who
All
said
right.
that? And
Yes.
then do you get escorted out? Is it like...
I think you probably just leave on your own.
Dramatic.
Yeah. Closest thing I saw was the officiant quietly stopping the ceremony because the groom never realized his divorce paperwork was finalized. The room went dead silent really fast after the officiant was told that they couldn't perform the wedding that day. They had to postpone it.
Wild.
My aunt stood up and said she didn't want to continue the family with a man like him. The bride ran off crying. They didn't get married that day, but ended up having a private ceremony later, and they're still together, and my aunt's not in their life. These are the wildest wedding objections that people witnessed. The woman who was getting married slept with the pastor before the ceremony, and someone had video of it on her phone and started passing it around. Loud gasps put an end to that wedding.
Yeah.
Big Al's face right now is like, the pastor and the bride slept together.
How does that work?
And someone had video. Who passed the video of that around?
There's so many layers.
Crazy, right? So, yeah, the wildest objection stories. It does happen. A woman in Florida was recently arrested for calling 911 to complain that they wouldn't serve her a Jell-O shot.
What?
Yeah, she called 911 because they wouldn't serve her a Jell-O shot, and her rights were being
That's right. It is
trampled
a crime.
upon. So BuzzFeed went and looked at the dumbest reasons why people have called 911, and they asked 911 dispatchers themselves, and they got an answer, quite a few answers, actually. I'm going to highlight a couple of the good ones here. The dumbest reasons why people have called 911. A guy called during a power outage to ask for the score of the USA-Canada Olympic gold medal game back in March. The dispatcher said, "I'm Canadian." I'm not going to tell you. A lady called in from a Wendy's drive-thru because they wouldn't sell her a Whopper.
Oh.
Wrong place.
My girl. She got to get it together.
They can't. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
DoorDash a Whopper to Wendy's
physically cannot.
to hand to you? Someone called to report that their neighbors were dropping pebbles into their pebble driveway. It turns out that they were putting a new driveway down, and they were putting pebbles on their own driveway. Harassment.
Okay. That's what that is.
Someone called 911 because they were a tourist visiting from Sweden, and they were bored, and they didn't have much money, and they wanted tips on what they should do in the USA with not a lot of money and being bored.
It's not information, sir.
Yeah.
This is 411.
Right. You got one number wrong.
Someone called 911 and they were hot. They were mad. They reported a missing Amazon package despite it showing up as delivered. The caller later found out that it was delivered to the wrong floor of the apartment building, and maybe they could have done a little pre-research before calling 911.
Also, what is 911 supposed to do about that?
Right?
I was about to do that one time. I walked out to the parking deck and my car was not out there. I was getting ready to call the police. I was just on the wrong floor.
You took a minute, though.
I took a minute.
You took a minute to figure it out. Handled it on your own. An older lady called to complain that a random man didn't hold the door open for her. One dispatcher got yelled at because the neighbors had the trees that couldn't, so they couldn't see the northern lights. I mean, my
I would be mad
gosh.
too, though. Now, I done came to see these northern lights and I can't see them.
Well, you better call a landscaping company.
Somebody.
And then a cop said a woman would call 4 or 5 times a week because she had a ghost in her attic.
She was lonely.
Eventually, we went over there, and he said, "What I saw in the attic, I will never tell anyone else." ...
Ooh.
Interesting, huh?
How you going to end it like that?
Right?
He doesn't want to talk about it. An adult admitted that they got in trouble for calling 911 when they were a child because their grandparents were insisting that they eat a hot dog. They didn't want to eat it, so they wanted the cops to come take the parents away.
My parents did that to me a couple times. I never called 911, but spinach and cooked carrots to this day I cannot eat.
Oh yeah, eggplant for me. I can't. Eggplants is like not my jam. But you accidentally called 911 when you were a kid.
No, that wasn't an accident. I just thought the phone was off and that it wasn't gonna call.
Okay.
Yeah, that landline set me up because that thing was still connected. I hit them 3 buttons and that lady was like, 911, how may I help you?
Yeah.
What? Dunk. I put that phone back down. I thought everything was cool and the coast was clear. And then a couple minutes later, they pulled up at that house. I was so scared.
Lights and sirens?
Right, everything.
Oh.
Because they didn't know what was going on.
They have to.
I respect it.
They have to do that.
Yeah.
But
I remember the Apple Watch. Everybody got one on Christmas of maybe 2021-ish. And there was this emergency button.
It's still there. We just talked about it on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, by the way.
Okay, but nobody knew what it was at the time. And the sheriff came to my neighbor's house on Christmas. We're like, oh my God, this is weird. And then another sheriff came and I talked to them and they were like, we've been going around to everybody's house. It's the Apple Watch, but we have to show up. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I did the same thing as Al, though. I dialed 911 because we didn't have 911. Like, you literally had to call the police with
the station.
You had to call the police station in my town, when I was growing up. And then we got 911 and I wanted to test it. I was probably in high school. And I was like, hey, I'm just testing it. And they still sent the cops out.
They have to.
Hey, it's Loren from the Maney and Loren Morning Show. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video. If you want to see more videos, you can always check out our behind the scenes content or our War of the Roses.